So as I mentioned, there are two different ways you can join pieces of stained glass. And of course, we haven't gotten there yet, but we're actually going to cut this glass up into shapes that are consistent with the design elements of our pattern, right? We're not going to just use them like this. But then you need a way to stick those pieces together, to make them kind of stay how you want them. And there's two ways this is done. One I mentioned we're not going to be doing today is, like I say, it's a technique called lead cane. You buy these pieces. They kind of come in these long, straight pieces. And they're either shaped like a U, right? And imagine if you had a U-shaped piece of lead, kind of a long kind of piece like this. The glass, fits kind of right in it. And so it kind of acts sort of like a frame around whatever the glass is. And because it's made of lead, it's soft, and you can bend it to whatever shape you need. They also make a cane that's more of an H shape, so you could put, imagine you could put fit a piece of glass into both sides. And remember, this stuff is pretty thin, so it just fits snugly up against the glass. You can kind of press it and mash it down. You can cut it fairly easily into whatever lengths you want, bend it whatever lengths you want. So a lot of the larger windows and larger pieces, and certainly kind of more artistic professional pieces, many of them are done, especially, as I say, large ones with lead cane. We're not going to be doing that today. The second method is a method called copper foil, where again, you cut your pieces and you puzzle them together. But instead of using lead cane, what we do is we use a combination of a copper foil tape, and you can get this at stained glass supply stores, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Use a combination of that and solder, and here's just kind of a spool of solder that's sold for stained glass. We'll talk about that in a little bit too. And of course, you need a soldering iron for that. And in that technique, each piece of glass gets wrapped in the foil tape and kind of pressed down and burnished so it's kind of down real tight. And then we use the soldering iron and heat to kind of stick them together in the end. So two different kind of techniques of binding pieces of stained glass. We're going to be doing copper foil method.